Hi, welcome back. It's Lionel The Tech Lead and partner Westport. And I know I've been really busy. I know I haven't been uploading many videos. I've been really caught up with a couple of projects happening here and there, some moving going around. But we are back today and I'm gonna do a slightly shorter video. And today I want to respond to a comment on my channel by William Castro, who just wants to know what is going down with the latest retrenchment that Shopify is doing. I think you've heard all around the world that the tech companies are starting to lay out people. Is this the end for software development? Is this the end of the boom market? And what about us in the WordPress, PHP, to Laravel custom development world? What is happening? Okay, and I'm sure you want to. First thing I want to let you know is that the tech business is grossly over funded. There's too many people in the tech business at the current moment. You've seen it, you've seen lots of hiring, you've seen a lot of YouTubers actually telling you how to get through a interview process to get into these companies. And one misconception that you think, right, is just because these guys have a resume and all that stuff, they are suitable for the software development business. And the other thing about that is that these companies were flush with cash. If you look at the what happened between 2020 and 2022, stock prices, even Shopify went up like crazy. And what happens when you do that? You need developers, right? You've got so much money sitting around, you just might as well go out and hire people. And one of the funny things is that systems that are created to hire people, you just got to keep doing it. I'll just give you an example. If I hired a HR manager, right, and a recruitment manager, what am I going to do after I hit a team of 10 people? I want to keep hiring and hiring and hiring. That's their job. Otherwise, they have no job. So people would invent ways and work for you to do and increase that range of stuff. So, you see things like Netflix, Meta, Facebook, Google, all these guys just continue hiring and hiring more people. Why? There's a couple of reasons. One, they got the budgets for it, right? So, if you have one person, you make $1 million. What about, resource denial, right? So if I hire all the good guys, the next guy that comes out, the startups, they can't get these developers and they're going to be behind. So it's kind of like if I don't get it, if I get it, they can't get it. So this is what's happening. All the tech companies are grossly overstaffed at the moment. Just think about it, right? You look at the Facebook design, you look at all these, it hasn't changed for years. Google's search engine hasn't changed for years. There hasn't been really tons of innovation going out in this because once your software is stable, you don't need such a big core team to do that kind of stuff. And then put into that all the other startups that have just come out, popped out, and hired people, right? So they just sucked out all this stuff. And once the market starts to look a bit more shaky, right now you're looking at it, it's a bit more shaky than it is, mainly because of interest rates. You know that interest rates have gone up, and now people, investors starting to realize, hey, these things can't grow to the sky. They're gonna start cutting back. So one of the good examples is that William has brought up is Shopify. I think Shopify is pretty good e-commerce software. They're very focused on a certain area, but they have a high number of staff. And a lot of these 10% people, the headcounts are. Let's talk about now, what does this have to do with WordPress, PHP? First of all, the PHP market is generally not in the inflated cloud area. So I think basically business is going to be as per usual. There has been a huge shortage in development talent, especially with COVID. People have been unable to move around, and that has really caused the demand for PHP services to actually continue to rise. As you might know, a lot of clients I'm familiar with require some form of physical contact, maybe even a salesperson, it doesn't really matter. So remote work, people have seen this distinction, and when one thing I've noticed, right, is that when labor costs start to go up worldwide, right, you want better automation because automation doesn't ask for more salary. So that's why you're going to see people actually focusing on that area. So that's one thing that's pretty good. Number two, the focus will change from these high-tech companies. There will be more outflow down there. There will be the continuation. So it's going to be a consistent number of developers going into that area. We've never ever been overswarmed. I think anytime where you see a bubble appearing, especially if you've seen these guys working in the FANG, that's bubble behavior, right? I mean, things using trying to cheat to get into these companies, salaries that rise where the companies don't make any sense. Now everything's gonna get so tight, right? Advertisers gonna demand dollars, return on their investments. If growth is not gonna happen, people are gonna start looking very tight at their cost base. But if you're a PHP developer, I'm very sure you're not see that as the top comes down, the middle part will start coming up, and that will start looking in. People will start looking at alternatives, and PHP is going to be one of those things that benefit. And I got a great video coming out that will really emphasize this track. In fact, it's going to be a huge series. I really like it. The other thing that's going to happen, right, is that you're going to see people who are used to this stuff start looking for alternatives, right? Because you guys will be thinking the same thing. If they're cutting stuff, maybe they're not great after all. Same thing with Google. If they're cutting stuff, what's happening? So a lot of companies are going to be out there, and this illusion of perfection is going to be shattered, and they're going to start looking at alternatives. Maybe not WordPress, maybe other things you won't see. So that will be the case of the environment. As it is, right, there are a lot of people trying to get into software development, but there are not a lot of people staying in software development. It is a tough business to be in. Like, you got a lot of people who would rather do something else that maybe doesn't require that kind of focus and conviction that's required. And it takes a very special person. So I believe that there's always a continuation in the market. In fact, I've never seen that. I mean, that's a reason why I'm so busy these days, because companies have started to embrace digital transformation. They've been burnt by poor quality, and now they understand and they want more quality level developers, be it whatever language that is.